everyone joining us on Zoom and here on Facebook Live. I'm Mike Lu in Manila and Victor Yu in Taipei. We invite you to discover another exciting destination here in Asia. Tonight, Kusum Fernando of Wild Quest will show us the rich biodiversity in Sri Lanka, where high number of endemics can be found in a unique ecosystem. Kusum, how are
Yes,
you?
fine.
We're excited to learn about Sri Lanka.
Yes. Can you see me and the presentation also?
Yes,
Yep.
the
Okay,
floor is
then.
yours. You can proceed.
Okay, right. Ayubowan to all of you. Ayubowan means may you live long. It's the traditional way of greeting and welcoming people in our country. Uh, thank you, Victor, Mike, Andrew, and all at ABF for giving me this opportunity to talk about Sri Lanka and its unique avifauna. Okay, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Uh, First, I will tell you about the topography of Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is an island in South Asia, resting at the southernmost tip of the Indian subcontinent. Its length is 440 kilometers from south to north and 220 kilometers from east to west. We have a total land area of 65,610 square kilometers. The climate is tropical and warm with about 28 degrees Celsius to 16 degrees Celsius in the highlands, average midday temperature. Sri Lanka is blessed with so many things in the country. You get whale watching, then there is plenty of wildlife, surfing, mainly bird watching is there, whitewater rafting, there are so many waterfalls, more than 380, hiking. As a sport, there is cricket. So Sri Lanka is blessed with 103 rivers, starting from central highlands and flowing through the country up to the Indian Ocean. There is 1,500 kilometers of coastline with pristine beaches. There are 45 estuaries, 40 lagoons, then there are forest reserves, nature reserves, national parks, sanctuaries, wetlands, plantations, home gardens for our wildlife and the biodiversity. Sri Lanka has a very high taxonomic diversity and rich in endemism. So we have 124 mammal species in Sri Lanka with 19 endemic, 241 reptile species, out of that 156 is endemic, 122 amphibians, out of that 108 species are endemic to Sri Lanka, 95 freshwater fish, out of that 60 is endemic, 247 butterfly species, out of that 31 is endemic. There are 130 odonates, the dragonflies and the damselflies, out of that 57 are endemic. Talking about avifauna of Sri Lanka, the total number of bird species is 510. So there are 33 endemics. Then the migrants are there, they are coming every year. The vagrants come occasionally, 97 species. So all up, the total comes to 510. I will skip this. Then talking about endemics, I will describe one by one. First is the Sri Lanka jungle fowl on the left-hand side. It's the national bird of Sri Lanka, a ground bird present in all right throughout the island. This is a close relative of the domestic hen. It's commonly found in Singaraja, Vilpattu, Dry Zone National Parks, Kitulgala. Then on the right hand side is the Sri Lanka spurfowl. It's also a ground bird. It's present in humid forests, always mostly found in pairs. It's a very shy bird, shy and very secretive also. It's also distributed in the wet zone, scarce in the southern sectors of the dry zone. Again, this bird is a fairly common in Singaraja uh, Forest Reserve. Kanneli also you get this bird. Most of the uh, rainforests in low country wet zone you can see this. Sri Lanka blue magpie. This is an elusive deep blue long-tailed magpie belonging to the Corvidae family, the crow family. Its habitat is mainly forest, distributed in the low country wet zone and also some parts of the hill country. The hill country below 2000 meters. This again, it's easy to see this bird in Singaraja Forest Reserve, Peak Wilderness, Knuckles. You see this bird. Then on the right hand side of your screen, you will get the Sri Lanka red-faced Markwa. This is an iconic species in Sri Lanka. Using this bird as the logo for forecastle, it's arboreal, always found in the canopy, distributed in the low country wet zone, and sometimes associated with riverine forests in the dry zone. We have records in Vilpattu National Park and Nilgala, that is Galloya National Park in the eastern side of Sri Lanka. Then Sri Lanka orange-bill babbler. Earlier it was known as rufous babbler. This bird is special. This bird is considered as the nuclear species in the mixed species feeding flocks in wet zone forests, especially in Singaraja. People must have heard about the Singaraja bird wave. This bird is the nuclear species in the flock. This bird is very noisy and always like there are about 6 to 12 birds together and they make a big noise. This noise gathers the other birds and forms a flock, and they search for food. Uh, they are united until some predator or some unusual noise comes. The bird wave actually feeds on the ground. The drongos on top, and even you get the red-faced Markwas also at the top in the canopy. On the right-hand side of your screen, you will get the Sri Lanka yellow-eared bulbul. Yellow-eared bulbul is a highland species, resident throughout the hills, above 900 meters. It's above 900 meters. You don't get this bird below 900. It feeds in the mid canopy, gathering in flocks, and you can see them feeding on fruiting trees. Easy to see in Horton Plains National Park, Nuwara area, Knuckles, and Peak Wilderness. Am I going too fast? I think limited time will go a bit faster. Is it okay? Sri Lanka grey hornbill. It's commonly found in the dry zone, wet zone, and in the wet zone up to about 1200 meters. It's found in evergreen forests, deciduous woodlands, and even by the roadsides also sometimes you might see this bird. Again, this bird is common in Singaraja and in the dry zone national parks like Vilpattu and Nyala. Then right hand side of your screen you will get the Sri Lanka yellow-fronted barber. Found in forests and home gardens. Distribution is in the low country wet zone, intermediate zone also, up to about 1800 meters. This is also a fruitivorous bird. You can even in the picture you see fruiting. It's on a fruiting tree feeding on fruits. Then Sri Lanka hanging parrot, found in all parts of the island, common in the wet zone forests and gardens, a little scarce in the dry zone. There's a special feature where this bird rests and feeds hanging upside down. Even in this photograph, it's hanging upside down. It's commonly found in Singaraja and Kitulgala. Then on the right hand side, you get Sri Lanka white-throated flowerpecker. This bird was earlier known as legs flowerpecker. Found in the low country wet zone, lowland areas up to about 900 meters. Again, this bird is found in Singaraja. Sri Lanka brown-capped babbler. Brown-capped babbler is a territorial bird and it has a marked territory for its survival. This bird prefers a habitat of forest undergrowth and scrub jungle, foraging mostly on the ground. Distribution is all over the country except the northern dry parts like Jaffna, Mannar, that area you don't get this bird. Very common in Singaraja, the national parks, Vilpattu, Nilgala, Yala. On the right hand side, it's the Sri Lanka White Eye, commonly found in the hill country. Its area, the elevation is about 1000 meters, common in highland forests, gardens, and even in cultivations. This bird can be found in Singaraja. On the eastern side of Singaraja, the high elevated places, open plains, this is very common, and in lower area. Sri Lanka spot-wing thrush. It's it's almost a ground bird, found in the low country wet zone and up to about 2000 meters, in the mid hill country up to 2000 meters. Fairly common in moist evergreen forests. Singaraja is the best place again to see this bird. Right hand side you get the Sri Lanka ashy-headed laughing thrush. This bird is found in flocks like 4 to 12 or more than that. It's also a regular species in the mixed species feeding flocks in the low country wet zone, especially in Singaraja. This bird feeds on the litter on the ground. As I said, Singaraja is the easiest place to see the ashy-headed laughing thrush. Sri Lanka greenbill cooper. It's a rare bird. Habitat is undisturbed forests in the low country wet zone. It's mainly associates with bamboo and rattan, found in Singaraja and outskirts of Singaraja forest also. Then we come to the owlets. We have two endemic owls. On the left hand side, you get the Sri Lanka chestnut-backed owlet. This is a diurnal owl found in forests, scrub cultivations. The distribution is in the low country wet zone and up to about 1,500 meters. Singaraja and Kitulgala is very famous to see this bird. Then on the right hand side is the Sri Lanka Serendip scops owl. Again, an elusive bird, nocturnal, found in the southwest forests in the wet zone. This bird was newly found in 2001 and it was described in 2004. It can be seen perched on lower levels on vertical stems or branches. Singaraja rainforest and close to Singaraja there is a place called Moropitia. It's also famous for this bird, and in Kitulgala also you can see the Serendip scops. Then Sri Lanka dull blue flycatcher, earlier known as Dusky blue flycatcher. This is a hill country bird, resident in the highlands, very common in higher elevations, in forest edges, well-wooded areas. Best place is Horton Plains National Park. On the right-hand side, you get the Sri Lanka Barber, found in almost all parts of Sri Lanka, up to about 1,300 meters, in forests and gardens. This was earlier known as crimson-fronted barbet. It was known as crimson-fronted barbet, and it was famous as crimson-fronted barbet. Very much similar to the coppersmith barbet, and there are no streaks when you consider this bird on the breast, and you get blue color on the face and the neck, which the coppersmith lacks. Then Sri Lanka emerald collared parakeet. On the left hand side, the left picture is the male. On the right, the middle picture is the female. It was earlier known as Layard's parakeet, found in the low country wet zone, forested humid areas, uncommon in higher elevations, but sometimes you may be able to see it common in Singaraja, Kitulgala, Nilgala forests. Right side you get the Sri Lanka myna. Earlier it was known as the Ceylon grackle, found in the low country wet zone again, and hill country up to about 2,000 meters, mainly in forested areas, but also in plantations and gardens also. Common in Singaraja, Knuckles, Sri Lanka green pigeon. Earlier this bird was known as Pompadour green pigeon. Can be seen in elevations up to about 1,000 meters in wet and dry zone forests. In open areas with tall trees, you get this bird. Common in Singaraja, best place is also Singaraja. Then on the right hand side is the Sri Lanka Skimita babbler. These birds are mostly found in pairs. Habitat will be forest undergrowth. Distribution mostly in all zones in broadleaf forests. Again, this is common in Singaraja. Lesser Sri Lanka flameback, earlier known as black trump flameback. This is the latest addition to the endemic list in Sri Lanka. Found in all parts except in the north, actually beyond Vilpattu region. This bird is known as the golden-backed woodpecker. This split was recently uh, uh, described, and the range is up to about 1,200 meters. On the right-hand side is the greater Sri Lanka flameback, foundly mostly below 1,000 meters, seen in the mixed species feeding flocks in Singaraja, feeds mostly on dead wood by hammering or drumming, you call it, and then pecks for food. This is also found in Singaraja. Sri Lanka wood pigeon. This bird is usually found above 1,000 meters, but rarely comes down to lower elevations when food is scarce in highlands. Arboreal rather than on the ground, it's shy and also sometimes found in pairs. Cotton plains, Kandy, Knuckles, and Singaraja at higher elevations, you see this wood pigeon. Then Sri Lanka white-faced starling on the right-hand side. This bird is strictly arboreal, found in the canopy of primary rainforest. It visits fruit trees sometimes adjacent to the forest openings. You see this. It's fairly common in Singaraja. Sri Lanka bush warbler. This is a highland species. Its range is 900 meters upwards, but mainly above 1,500 meters. Uh, it's a rare bird somewhat, but can be found in moist undergrowth like dwarf bamboo close to the ground in damp forests. Cotton plains is the best place to see the bush warbler. On the right-hand side top is the Sri Lanka whistling thrush male. It's a rare bird in the highlands, very difficult to see. Its range is again above 900 meters, but you find it above 1,200 meters upwards. At the bottom right-hand side is the female whistling thrush. This is found in cotton plains, and there is a special place called Aranga Pool. The Sinhalese name is also Aranga, and you can see this bird only in the early mornings, and it's dawn and dusk actually you see this bird, not in midday. Sri Lanka black-capped bulbul, found in almost all zones, forests, wooded areas, gardens, mostly found in dry zone riverine areas, but very common in Singaraj. On the right-hand side, the Sri Lanka wood stripe. It's a dry zone bird, commonly found in the dry zone forest, seen in open woodlands, including the roadside scrub forests. Very scarce in the wet zone. Jala, Udawalawe, Vilpattu national parks are the easiest place to see this bird. Sri Lanka swallow, found almost in the entire country, lowlands and lower hills up to about 1,200 meters. Very common in variety of habitats. You see this flying in over paddy fields, open fields, hillsides, and sometimes they nest inside human habitats. Common in Singaraja, again, and even in Kitulgala areas, you see this bird. Sri Lanka crested drongo, found in forests only, in wet zone, and this is a regular member of the mixed species feeding flocks. It has a kleptoparasitic behavior seen grabbing food from other birds like orange grabs from orange-billed babblers, ash-headed laughing thrush. This bird is also found in common in Singaraja. Okay, then I have talked to you about 33 endemics. I have to tell you about, I don't have a photograph, but scaly thrush, earlier it was considered as an endemic bird. But the Suthera imbricata was endemic, and recently it was removed and now lumped with white thrush, Suthera aurea. Then this slide you will get I will show you some forest birds. Oriental dwarf kingfisher. It's also known as three-toed kingfisher, black-backed kingfisher, found in the riverine areas, in the low country, and in the foothills of upcountry. Commonly found in Singaraja, Nilgala, Aldumulla, Hopsal areas. I photographed this bird in Aldumulla. On the right hand side is the Malabar togan. It's on right top is the male one, the bottom one is the female. It's found in moist forests, fairly common in low country wet zone. It's again found in Singaraja. Kannelia is also famous. Then forest birds, I show you some. Sri Lanka bay owl. Singaraja is famous, but very rare, not seen all the time. Then the crested hawk eagle, the pale moth, common hoopoe, found in dry zone forests. Then some of the migratory birds, barn swallows. They arrive first to this country during wintering season. You can find them in large numbers on electric wires. Sometimes they first come to Ratnapura in mid-country and they disperse from there. Always seen in large numbers. Bottom left-hand side is the Indian pitta. It's again a migrant. Then Indian paradise flycatcher, which comes to Sri Lanka in this brown morph and leaves Sri Lanka in white morph. Somewhere around April, they migrate back to Kashmir side. Then some of the migratory birds, the Caspian tern, northern shoveler duck. Then I'll tell you some interesting news about migratory birds that became resident birds in Sri Lanka. The glossy ibis. Glossy ibis started nesting this year in Bundala National Park. This year in March during the peak COVID time. And this bird on the left side, I photographed it on the 11th of July this year. Now it has become a juvenile. The morph has the chick had grown to a juvenile. Within like 4 months, it become juvenile form. Then the blue-tailed bee-eater on the right-hand side. It's a migrant to Sri Lanka, but we have a resident population in Kumana National Park in the east of Sri Lanka. Okay. WildQuest is my company. I will tell you a little bit about how to plan a tour to Sri Lanka with our tour packages. Let me tell you something special about Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is the only country in the world where you will be able to see the largest mammal on water, see the blue whale, and the largest mammal on land, the elephant, within 12 hours on a single day. If you start if you start whale watching at 6 o'clock, you are guaranteed to see the elephant before 6 o'clock in the evening. We customize bird photography tours according to your requirements. Whatever the bird you want to see, we can customize. This photo was taken in. This is where the Aranga is found. The Sri Lanka whistling thrush. This is the habitat you see it in Horton Plains. So we can customize bird photography tours, and we have some bird tour packages for endemic birds. If you are a serious switcher, then we can like some people they come only to see Serendip's copse owl. So switching also we can arrange. Then committed birding, and if you want luxury endemic bird tour also we can like arrange. Then wildlife tours. So when you call the peak season, it's from September to April. Peak season wildlife tours we arrange thinking of whale watching, elephants, then to see leopards, sloth bear, and the common mammals around Sri Lanka. It's a 12-day tour, and we also designed a national park tour going in safari jeeps, similar to Kenya. Then we have complete tours where 3 national parks will be covered. Turtles can be seen in this package. Whale watching, cultural sites, 2 World Heritage sites like Sigiriya, Dambulla, and the tribal community, the Veddas. We can also organize cultural and heritage tours covering 5 UNESCO World Heritage sites: Sigiriya, Dambulla, Polonnaruwa, Anuradhapura, and Kandy. Then hot air ballooning, whale watching, yoga and wellness, plantations, or agriculture tours, even the village, even if you like to stay in a village, and homestays, cycling, adventure tours like whitewater rafting, kite surfing, then sun, sea, and sand tours, especially in Arugambe where you surf. It's very famous. And if you need to see special birds in special locations, we can take you to see the northern birds in Mana and Jaffna. Flamingos, Indian corsair, bridal terns. So there are so many. And Nilgala, that is in the Uva province where these three specific birds are found only in this location. The painted francolin, the yellow-footed green pigeon, and the jungle bush bear. So I would like to thank my friend Ajit Gamage for contributing with most of the photographs. And I would say that all photographs in my presentation and even in my website are all ethically photographed without any bait or playback. I would invite you to visit my website www.wildquestsrilanka.org, and thank you all for listening. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Kusum. Thank you very much. So very good.
If there are any questions?
Yeah, we learn a lot from you. Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, there are two questions. Mike, would you please read the questions, please?
Okay, the first question is what are the best places to see pelagic birds in Sri Lanka?
Pelagic birds you can see even when you do a whale watching trip in Mirissa area during the say around August when the migration starts, you can see many birds.
Oh.
Even in Colombo, we did a seabird watch in that not this year, maybe 2 years back in August, and we saw about 25 to 30 species just watching birds from the beach, and it was at same level. And if you go to higher elevation, I think you can see more with spotting scopes.
Okay.
And while we are doing whale watching also, you will be able to see about 25-30 species of birds.
Okay. Good.
Yes.
And what are the best months to visit Sri Lanka, and how many of them endemics do you get to see?
Yeah. Best. Actually, Sri Lanka has two rainfall patterns. The southwest monsoon is from May to July, and northeast is from end October till about December. But during the southwest monsoon, we should avoid because most of the birding we do in Singaraja, out of 33 endemics, 25 can be found. 25 to 28 birds are found in Singaraja. So we will skip those at the southwest monsoon. Other than that, the best time actually is January, February. They are because it's dry.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
And our friend Herbert from Uganda wants to know: are there bird guides clubs in Sri Lanka?
I couldn't get you.
Are there bird guides clubs in Sri Lanka?
Bird guide clubs?
Yes.
Or maybe an organization of bird guides for bird guides.
No organization. The Sri Lanka Tourist Board gives you a license to do guiding. That is a common guide license, especially meant for these cultural tours where you will have to go and explain about the history of Sri Lanka and those things. The bird guides are like freelance bird guides, but there is no particular bird guide association. But I am attached to Field Ornithology Group of Sri Lanka, and we do a lot of training for about birds to people, and most of these national tour guides they go on our field trips and they learn from there.
Okay. And are there women bird guides in Sri Lanka? Female bird guides in Sri Lanka? Herberts want to know.
Good question. We had one. Actually, she passed away about 3 years ago. After that, I haven't seen anyone in the field.
Oh.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, I haven't seen any professional bird guide, female bird guides.
Okay. Okay. There's lots of room to growth, right? And Herbert also wants to know.
I think the female actually when you see when you take bird watching, it's about 80-20 ratio. 80 males and 20 females when they come for bird watching.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because I think it's because of the culture, they don't want to like expose themselves. Like I don't know the reason actually.
Okay. Right. So, and Herbert also wants to know, if he is going alone, but all by himself, birding in Sri Lanka, is this safe?
Birding alone.
Himself.
If he knows the places, then it's okay. Otherwise, I don't think it's a safe. It's a good idea to go on his own. But if he knows the exact places, the locations, now I had a slide. I just passed through it quickly. Even the birding hotspots. You can't find the birds actually. What I told you was the Aranga pool where you see the blue, the Sri Lanka whistling thrush. Like that, there are specific places where the birds come. If he knows the locations, then it's okay. But now, of course, it's not safe because of COVID and all those things. But if he hires a vehicle, and I don't recommend people going in public transport, using public transport to see birds in Sri Lanka alone.
Okay.
So, we also want to know, are there black people in Sri Lanka?
Black people?
Yeah. Because Herbert is from Uganda.
It's a mixture of black and white. we are tan colored, not black, not white.
I think Herbert means are there people from Africa living in Sri Lanka?
Yeah, probably.
No.
Not much.
Not much.
Okay.
I haven't seen. Maybe this not main. What I see in Sri Lanka is most Chinese people are here. Even during COVID, a lot of Chinese are here.
Oh. So now you can speak Chinese in Sri Lanka.
Sorry? They are doing business, yes.
Okay.
Luan from the Philippines is asking, is it easy to see the Sri Lankan leopard?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
How easy? I mean, you just go there and you see them, right?
Yeah, in the wild, you have to go in a safari jeep in the national parks. But now, even in Horton Plains, where you are allowed to walk in the national park, there are also sometimes the leopard is seen. Actually, we had camera traps, and there were 24 individual leopards recorded in Horton Plains.
Okay.
Hey.
There are in Yala and Vilpattu, people have catalog, and there are over 100 leopards in Yala and Vilpattu.
Hello, Kusum. I have a question for you.
Yes, you are welcome.
How often do you see whale, blue whale? It's from the presentation. It seems like it is pretty promising to see a whale.
Yeah, blue
And if
whale.
so, how
Yeah.
many days would you recommend to give a best chance to see the whale?
Whale is seasonal, and say from October, you can now from October till about March, because in May the rainy season starts, so then the seas get rough.
Right.
Up to that point, from October, you can see the blue whale in Mirissa, the southern part of Sri Lanka. And during,
Okay.
if you really want to see it at any time, then you have to move towards the eastern part of the island, where you won't get the southwest monsoon. In Trincomalee area also there are whale watching tours.
Okay. And how many days do you recommend?
Only for whale watching.
Yes, including some birding, of course. You know.
Yeah, then what I would recommend is you can see the endemics in Singaraja and then move to 2 days birding in Singaraja. Then you go to Mirissa, whale watching, and even in the evening you can go and see the Asian elephant also. So 3 days is enough.
So out of 10, how many trips would you see blue whale? Let's say out of 10 trips, if you come in the right season.
During the season, best I would recommend January to March is the best time to see the blue whale, because the seas are very calm. So if you take out of 10, almost 9.
Wow.
Wow.
That's great.
And you get the dolphins also.
Wow. That's pretty amazing.
Yes. Sri Lanka is an amazing country.
Yes, I heard a lot about it, and lots of endemics to take.
Exactly.
I think we should go.
Thank you very much, Kusum.
Okay, welcome.
Yeah, our friend Omar from Gambia has a question.
Yes.
Omar, please.
Hi, Kusum. Hi, can you hear me?
It's
Yes,
not clear.
All right, thank you so much for the brilliant presentation, though I came in late. And then
Yeah, thank you very much.
my question is, conservation is always a very challenging, field. I want to know about the government support or local community support towards conserving highly ecological sensitive hotspots, because we know about birds. They don't live in national parks or in protected areas, or sometimes in densely forest areas. How is government trying to protect these areas for the long-term growth of this industry in Sri Lanka?
Yeah, some places are restricted, and there are laws. Actually, there are strict laws about in every aspect. There are laws, and most of the flora and fauna is protected under the government ordinances. There are ordinances like that. There are laws which protects the flora and fauna.
Okay.
Good. All right.
And the conservation is also it's been done at the conservation. Now, say forests are looked after by the forest department. They have their own people protecting, and they are also involved in conservation work. And voluntary people, they are into tree planting. Lot of things are happening actually in a good way. No poaching actually, not like other countries where it's a big threat. Sri Lanka doesn't have that. People here, the best thing is people don't eat birds.
Oh, good.
All right, so maybe probably I'm not quite sure whether I missed that part in your presentation. That is creating like a community-based sensitization or environment education program in school so that community can know about the importance of conserving these protected areas by having some sort of economic incentive from birding or from promoting ecotourism resorts in those areas. If that is one potential avenue, probably maybe you or somebody can have that contact with the local government or the county government or with the central government down there to see how this can they promote conservation programs in schools and as well as awareness programs in local communities so that people can know, you know what, we protect this particular forest reserve because we're going to have money in return. They can get employment for our local people who are going to depend on bird and has their livelihood source. So that might be like a bit comment for you there.
Yeah, there are a lot of programs at the school. We do. I'm actually a volunteer for a bird organization. We do a lot of school programs, especially in the vicinity, the surrounding areas, national parks, and Singaraja, those areas. We go and educate the school children about the value of biodiversity. There are a lot of educational programs actually. Even for the elders also, we have free education programs.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
We have an interesting question from Mark of Malaysia.
Yeah.
How is the food in Sri Lanka? Is it mainly vegetarian?
No, Sri Lanka has authentic food, and it's very much similar to Thai food.
Spicy, you mean?
Yeah, a little bit spicy. If you want to, can ask them not to add more spice, or if you can tolerate spice, then mostly it's normally people would like the Sri Lankans like spicy food.
Oh.
Even the authentic food is a little bit spicy.
Okay.
Hi, Kusum. Another question.
Yeah.
If you consider going on a birding trip to Sri Lanka, do you also is there any advantages of camping? Do you also recommend people to camp to see more birds?
So camping actually it's not safe outside national parks, but inside national parks you can camp. For that you have to pre-arrange a lot of things. Like you have to book the campsite in advance. Like 1 month prior, you have to book the campsites in the national parks. Other than that, outside the national parks, camping is not allowed. Not like say when you take Australia, you can go and camp on beaches and all those places, but in Sri Lanka it's not allowed, and it's not safe also.
But if you sign up on one of your tour package, my question is, would it increase the chance of number of birds if we camp rather than stay in the hotel?
No. Because there is camp. It's called glamping, where we don't pitch up our tents and do the normal camping. But glamping is there. It's luxury beds and all those things. Air conditioner is there inside the camp. So that is there. But if you take your own tent and do camping, then you will not get a great chance to see birds.
Right. Okay.
And in the national parks, the problem is with you get the macaques and all, so you can't. You have to protect the campsite with from the macaques. So the macaque problem is there in most of the campsites now.
So on any of your tours, you don't include camping then. You use lodges and hotels instead.
Yeah, lodges and hotels, but. If you are serious about camping, then we can like pre-book. Say if you tell us at least give us about 2 months prior, then we can book a campsite.
Right. Okay.
Inside the national park.
Right. Okay.
So We have a question from our friend in the Wild Bird Society of Japan, Hiroko Okamoto.
Yeah.
She said there's
Yeah,
this interesting
Hiroko,
article of
yes.
Sri Lanka on the website of BirdLife International about bird-friendly hotels.
Yes.
Tell us more about this.
Yeah, bird-friendly hotels is a concept of Professor Sarat Kotagama. He's the one who initiated it. And now, as I said earlier, I'm into that. I'm from Fogestel. So the bird-friendly concept is we train the people who are in that hotel, the staff, and after that we give a certification from Fogestel as a bird-friendly hotel. And they can use a bird as like a specific bird for specific hotels. A bird is allocated, and say the Asian Paradise Flycatcher for some hotel, and we won't give it to another hotel. So it's called a bird-friendly concept.
So is it mainly teaching the staff how to birdwatch?
No, not bird watching. Actually, to protect the environment, if the birds are coming to their hotel, not to disturb them, and how to actually not to feed them if they are wild birds, and not to disturb them. Let them come and let them do whatever they want, and then inside the premises also you can promote your bird watching. That part is the behavior part is given as a training.
Does it also include planting bird-friendly plants to attract more birds?
Yeah, there are fruiting trees. Some people, if they want, like there are spaces, hotels where they allow you to plant trees, fruiting trees to attract birds.
Okay. Thank you.
Kusum, yeah, please,
Yes.
you may exit your PowerPoint, then we can see everybody's face.
Okay. You can see me now?
Yep, I can see you. Okay. No,
Hold on.
you can exit your PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. We're gonna take group photo in the end. All right, this is great.
Do we still have time? Do we
Okay.
still have time?
Yeah, we still have time. Yeah. Any question from Rajendra? Yes, please.
Yeah, can I have a question with?
Yes,
Kusum?
please.
Yeah. Hello, Kusum.
Kusum, we lost you, Kusum.
We
Where's
lost
Kusum? Wait. Let me try to get him in here. We lost our speaker. Hello, Kusum.
Oh dear.
Okay, now he's back.
Oh, he's back?
In a few seconds. All right. 3, 2, 1.
I think I went off.
Come back.
I will be missing.
Right.
One more time.
Hey, go ahead, Rajendra.
Hi, Kusum.
Yeah, hi Rajendra. How?
Hey, That was great presentations.
Thank you.
So we would like to come to your country to see
So
the
as we discussed, we'll do a partnership
and
exchange.
otters and many endemic birds, including that your leopards. Yeah. So
Yeah, leopards are very famous.
yeah, I have a couple of questions. Number one is, when you say camping inside the park, is it
Yeah.
like safe? Is it safe?
Safe from
Like
animals,
we
no
have
no
like-
problem.
Like fence or anything, and how does it work? The campsite inside the park, national park.
Campsite inside the national park, you have to take your own stuff, or you have to pre-arrange. You have to get someone to put up the campsite, or else you can take your own camping stuff and camp inside. But there are places outside with luxury camping, and some people arrange. Actually, we don't do that. Some people, it's very expensive. Actually, it's very cheaper to stay in a luxury hotel than camping in in a national park. When you get people to arrange the campsite, they will take in generators and all those things. So that will be it will be an expensive experience for you.
Okay. And then something just I want to share the the Asian paradise flycatcher. You mentioned Indian. Why is that?
It's a Kashmir flycatcher which comes to Sri Lanka during the wintering season. They come in color, and when they leave, it gets the white morph.
Actually, that flycatcher also comes to my areas like where I am now in Kathmandu.
In white color or brown color?
Mostly they're actually white color. They comes to our areas, and
I have seen the change of color. I have photographed now even in the slide.
Yeah.
It's brown, and it has started to change its color to white. And I have a photograph only a little bit of brown in the wings, and others are all white.
Okay. Because they started to migrate in our areas like end of March. They would be already entered to our like southern part, which is 300-400 meters. We have lots of national park. And where I am now is 1350 meter, Kathmandu. So they started
13,500.
No, 1,350 meters. Yeah, 1,350 meters.
Yeah.
So that's where about end of the April they started to come, and then they started to make nest. And by mid-May to June, they already have nest and get the chicks already hatched by first week of June.
No. We don't have nesting. We haven't.
So end of the June, the young will be that they are fledged out. They will not be there, and so maybe we suspect that the end of the July they will leave from these areas. So we don't see now. So already last time I went to check that territory, and then they were not there.
Yeah. The paradise flycatcher, they leave Sri Lanka somewhere around in May, and they come in August or early September.
Kusum, I think we are talking about three different separate species of the Asian paradise flycatcher, I think now.
Yeah.
I think the one we get in Bhutan, which is scarce, is the Blight's paradise flycatcher. And I think in Sri Lanka, you get both the Indian as well as the Asian one, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. We get non-breeding birds of the Blight's paradise flycatcher. I think, and the other one is Amur paradise flycatcher, which we don't get.
Amur is not found in Sri Lanka. Amur is not found in Sri Lanka.
I read an article somewhere on Clements, I think, where they differentiated the Asian paradise flycatcher into three different species.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have a resident population that one has a short tail.
Ours has a relatively short tail as well, you know.
Pardon?
Ours has a relatively short tail as well. Previously, we thought it is Indian paradise flycatcher, but it is so happened that it is not.
We have seen that. I have seen that nesting in Sri Lanka, but not the long tail one. I have never seen it nesting.
Right. So probably rarer than the rest.
You mean the Indian,
Yes,
paradise?
the Indian paradise
Yeah,
flycatcher, I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's about time. It's time to take a group photo. Okay, before we leave. So the trip Dusky, please look at the camera and smile and don't move.
Yeah.
Those who hide behind the screen, please show yourself. Audrey, want to show yourself? Mike, we don't see you, Mike.
My camera is not working.
Every time. Hi.
Technical problems.
Audrey, are you still with us? Okay. Right. Look at the camera and smile. 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Kusum.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you, Kusum.
Bye.
Let me remind you guys, next week.
Greetings from Uganda. Bye-bye.
Yeah, next week we are going to Argentina.
Oh.
Oh, going to.
See you there. So we have a best guy.
Excellent.
We have a best guy of Argentina, Horacio Matarazzo. He will lead us to see all the birds there. Okay?
Okay.
One more time. Let's take the good photo one more time. Okay, now the screen's better. Look at the camera. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Thank you very much.
Good.
See you guys next week.
Yeah, see you next
Thank
week.
you. See you.
Thank you
Bye.
for joining.
Have a nice weekend.